Father in America podcast by Simon Javanokelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for another incredible session here of the African Father in America podcast. I am in Seattle, Washington, and I am really excited to be here with an amazing friend and mentor and collaborator, someone I look up to, but someone who is also moving the needle, especially when it comes to African music, and when it comes to Afrobeat, when it comes to the Grammy Academy, and really when it comes to people that are helping push Africa to the next level musically. Freddie, do you want to say hello to our viewers and our listeners for today's conversation?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Simon, for bringing me on. We've been planning this for quite a while. And thank you for waking me up this early. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me, brother.
Excellent. Yes, man. This has been a long time coming. And I also appreciate you deeply for taking the time to join us today. For those who are meeting Freddie for the first time, Freddie is an international multi-genre producer, award-winning producer, music producer, DJ, and also the global chair of the Grammy Academy, originally from Cameroon. Freddie and I connected during Africa Day in 2020, and since then, we've collaborated on Madaraka Festival that we will talk a little bit about, and we continue to collaborate on multiple projects since then. But for now, I want us to take a quick virtual journey to Liberia, where our proverb for today comes from. And the proverb from Liberia is from the Jabo tribe in Liberia, and it says that children are the wisdom of the nation. Children are the wisdom of the nation. I want you to share in the comment what this proverb means to you, so that we can also learn a little bit from you. But I have a couple of nuggets of wisdom that are in alignment with this proverb. This Jabo proverb speaks a lot about the immense potential that children have to the growth of our countries, our communities, our nation. The more we educate our children, the better our communities are. So these are the three nuggets of wisdom that we picked in relation to this proverb. Number one, empower children with knowledge. The more you know, the more you have the responsibility to pass that knowledge to your children. Number two, foster meaningful connections. Many of us don't take time to really build intentional connections with our children, and also children from the village. Growing up in Kenya, connecting with children was beyond your own children. You had to connect with other children in the community and also pass on the knowledge that you had to them. And then number three, invest in education systems. Here in America, where I live, I have three of my daughters living here with me, and we deeply appreciate the American education system. But I still use these proverbs every day. After this show, I'll be discussing this proverb with my daughters, and that is also instilling African education system in them. So you have your own family education system. There's a lot that we can pass on to our children in form of our own education system. So those are the three nuggets that I wanted to share. But I want to now invite my brother Freddie Mooks, who is my special guest today. And for those who are meeting Freddie for the first time, I see that quite a number of you, my brothers and sisters, are joining us on Clubhouse and also on YouTube. We are multi-streaming today, and I really appreciate you all for being here with us. Freddie, as I said earlier, has performed with some of the who is who in the African music scene, and also in the global African diaspora scene, whether it's Burna Boy, whether it's Afrobeat, whether it's Fatima Altieri, whether it's D'banj. Freddie has worked with them. And also, if you look at the Grammy community, Freddie has a lot of influence and continues to do groundbreaking work to bring Africa to the forefront of even some of the awards you're seeing African artists winning in the last few years. Freddie has been very, very influential in making those happen. But for now, Freddie, we want to take you back home. We want to take you to Liberia so that you talk about this proverb for a moment. You know, when we sent you this proverb that says, "Children are the wisdom of the nation," what is it that came to your mind?
I think the first thing that came to my mind is my. It's actually a conversation that I had like quite recently, about my nieces and nephews of how smart they are, and are they smarter than us? Like my 4-year-old nephew would write and say something that I would look at like, I don't know if I could say this. I could say this when I was 4. So, um, 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 in alignment to that, because children will always have the newest of knowledge, which the future depends on. I think children are the future. So the latest trends will be known by children before the older generation. So we'll always depend on them for what's coming up next.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I agree. I agree. Whether it's new dance moves, it's always the children that are actually taking the risk, to dance what they saw on TV in
Yeah.
public, before the adults can actually begin vibing to it and begin relating to it. I love that. Now, to all our audience members who are on Clubhouse, I just want to thank you for joining us. I see Brother Rushi and Kay, and I also see Duchess Meadows and Taban, and of course Steve and Cabs and Stella, Annie. All of you are really, really deeply appreciated. And also on YouTube, I see quite a few of you have joined us. Take a minute and subscribe to the channel, and also give this video a thumbs up so that when we are live again tomorrow, you can catch the show. Now, one of the things I love asking my guests, Freddie, is to take us even a little back further to your own story. For example, you are not born at the Grammys. You are not born as a DJ producer. You did some work, and there are stories and events that contributed to you getting to where you are today. Just a few days ago, you released a song with Miku, a Grammy-nominated Nigerian artist living here in the US, along with an incredible award-winning artist from Kenya, Victoria Kimani. And these are people that you have access to, like people have access to water. When we talk about Harmonize, when we talk about Eddie Kenzo, D'banj, Burna Boy, a lot of artists respect you. When they hear your name, they pay attention. But this didn't begin suddenly, I think there's a story that began building this journey of yours to where it is today. And a lot of the time I share my own story, that when I was about 8 years old, my mother gave me a bicycle and asked me to begin helping her distribute milk and bread in our neighborhood back in Kenya. And so since then, I began learning how to be an entrepreneur, learning how to, connect with people and work together with people. And so I ask my guests this question so that we can actually know where your journey begins and where you begin to realize that I can actually be as big as I want. I can do big things and take big risks, So take a moment and take us through Freddie Mook's story that really drives who you are today.
I grew up. I was born in Cameroon, and we had the chance to live in several different nations. My parents were extremely conservative. I mean, most African families, you're expected to be a doctor or an engineer or something fancy, even if you don't like it. But I was lucky. My mom, especially, my both parents have passed away. That's why I'm referring to them in the past. Um, my mom encouraged us to be the best of anything they want to be, as long as we're not hurting anybody. If you wanted to be in finance, an accountant, you could be that, and if you want to be in But music was never something that was encouraged. But my oldest brother, who was also passed away, was a great musician, and he played with some of the greatest in the world. He encouraged me to follow that dream and look for tools, even as young as I was, and to provide me ways of being able to practice and study music. And the love for music was there from like a very young age. By 6 years old, I would literally steal his guitar. I didn't have any idea how to play, and hide and just strum on the strings and just try to make some noises. And slowly I started watching him then grow into now going to school for music and music production. um I think it was, I'll say the journey was, I won't say it was difficult because I always loved it. I would do it for free. I would hide to do it if I have to go through anything to get to some music or to listen to some music or to find out what sounds are those I'm hearing and stuff like that from very young age. So um it was more interesting than it was difficult. And so jump to many years later, went ahead and finished all the expected African family expectations of going to engineering school and getting a degree in that, and came to the US and got into a medical program. Still knew that that was not for me at all. And so I decided to move away from things that I couldn't do anything else. And I knew clearly that nothing else would work except for the music. And so I went ahead and completed school um, in sound engineering and audio management, and finished my master's. Then worked for CBS Radio for about 6 years. Took a break, traveled, and came back and worked for Cumulus Communication radio stations. At that time, I was doing engineering for these stations, and I had room to be able to produce, doing some imaging and producing music for commercials and other things for radio and TV. Then finally started my own company and started producing and writing my own stuff and creating collaborations and relationships with different artists. Since I do not sing, so most songs that you hear produce will be sung by somebody else. And I do most of the writing. I do most of the production for the collaborations, but I also do music for produce for other people and write for others too for their own projects and stuff.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, when you talk about some of the work you do, some of the and also your journey in general, it's hard for people to actually relate to it until you actually share some of the examples of the incredible artists that you've worked with. Talk to us about some of the albums you've been making for the pioneers of Afrobeat, like the band.
Yeah.
Talk to us about some of those projects, maybe the most moving project that you've worked on, because I know you've toured with Burna Boy as well. Talk to us about maybe one of the opportunities that you've recently worked on that you feel that remind you of this moment back in Cameroon, where you had to hide with your brother's guitar in order for you to play it. But also talk to us about maybe a couple of moments where you felt like this is not worth it. Maybe I should have focused on medicine.
Yeah. I've had the opportunity to work with quite a set of very interesting people, and maybe in writing capabilities or production or or curating even music for their own projects. And um I think I just did we did a song with the band that produced the Cover Me song. I just did that. I have Goya Meno, the guy that sing You Want to Bamba. We just did a song with him that I produced that will be coming out pretty soon. Victoria Kimani, I would say one of the most interesting that I could remember that is of recent is Victoria. The song I did with Victoria and Miku. That song it took us about 2 years to have it completed. We started the music here in the US. Victoria had traveled to Kenya, then um, got stuck with the pandemic, then came back in the middle of the pandemic to the US. At that time, I don't think Miku was not on the song yet because we're in the pandemic and we're also working on our Ofu album and project, which is another. I'll speak about that. We were working on that too at the same time, so we had this back and forth of trying to steal time to complete the song, but so it gave us the time to make it as fun as possible and stuff. There'll be some, of course, some people that I've worked with that I can for personal reasons I will not mention. You've mentioned some of them, and also for because of my work and because of my work, I can only speak. I'm not speaking in my capacity as a board chair for the Grammys, so I'll be limited to speaking too much about that, especially where the Grammys is in front of us in a few days. Yeah, so I think one of the most interesting. I love music so much that every time I'm in the studio, it's always enjoyable. But I've had crazy situations. I had Lil Flip from Houston. I think working with him was one of the funnest memories that I had in recording. We actually recorded his verse in one of the songs that I produced for him, and we're about to leave the studio, and he said that there's something that's missing, that I need to add something in the song. I said, bro, I don't understand something. Is when you say something in music, it got to be like this. What exactly is the problem? He said for some reason he wants to record the verse on his phone instead, on a voice note instead of in the studio. I said, why? He said, he just feels that sound as a sound that he's hearing, that he wants it to sound like, I said, today we have tons of plugins that can do that. He said, no. He said, I want to sit in my car, crack the window a little bit. I record it on a voice note, and that's what we're going to use. And like, and yeah, I could not understand at the time. But what I learned from is that you can get to a certain place in music where you could make such decisions that are ridiculous, and that sounds ridiculous, but ends up being a good idea. That in the beginning it's like it didn't make any sense at all. We have $1 million studio, and you say you want to record this on your phone and as a voice note, and yeah, so yeah, there's just making music and being in the studio is it's always just so much fun. Like I don't even know which one to pick or which one not to pick. Yeah.
I love that. I love that, especially because I've been in the studio with you as well. And I want us to talk about that moment a little, but also go back to the entire Madaraka Festival organizing and planning, because a lot of the people who listen to the podcast are also people who supported Madaraka Festival and people who love the work that we did together with last year's Madaraka Festival that had over 7,000 people in a period of 2 days, and over 18 million people were tuned in online during the period of the festival promotion and presentation. Talk about it. Talk about how the experience of working together around Madaraka Festival was, and also that moment in the studio after everybody had left. I think everybody had left at that moment. It was just the two of us and a few people who are deeply involved with helping make the event happen.
Yeah. I think the Madaraka Festival was an amazing experience. It was from me getting involved in some preparation stages. I know you guys have been working all year on it, and we balancing ideas. And I think Simon is one of the only people that could call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and starts talking like it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and we'll just go straight just go straight into the conversation. Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I think that's why we're here now, and we're looking forward to this year's Madaraka. And since I was coming to town. I think I was coming with like 14 people from Dibanji's band and Ofu and the other people. I learned that the team that was in place, I've not seen any more dedicated people. Lavender, Stephanie, and everybody else that was on the team. And wow, it was a lot of work, and I'm still shocked that we're able to pull it. We did so many wheels that were moving, and everybody enjoyed their time, their time there. And we had the opportunity to get in the studio at the W Hotel in Seattle. I remember that night, and I think we're expecting Cole. Anthony was supposed to join us at the time. Couldn't work out for the first night because we had some other guests or some other radio or TV stuff that we had to do. Then everybody had left already. I think was it before KEXP or was it after?
It was the day after because it was the day after. So the Dibanj left that morning and you are staying an additional night. So that's how we were able to that's how we were able to get into the studio and begin a project that soon we'll be able to start talking about.
We can't say much right now. We had the chance. I think I'll have to thank the W Hotel for also hosting us during that period, and their beautiful sound suite, and giving us the opportunities to actually create there. It was a great experience. I mean, I'm more excited for what is it's actually coming from what we're building there, and how it's going to continue. The other things that we're actually going to be doing from that. So yes, Madaraka was a lot of fun, and we look forward to this year and change of concept. I don't know if you will talk about that, and the amazing people that are coming in again this year to be part of this amazing event.
Yeah, by the end of January, we will start talking more about how this year's Madaraka Festival is going to look like. But it's happening, and it's happening in May, It's happening earlier than it has ever happened before. So just stay tuned. And Freddie, I want to continue just with one more question before we come to our friends who are listening in and watching. If you're joining the show for the first time, take a minute and subscribe to the channel. And also give this video a thumbs up and leave your comments down below. In the description, we have a lot of resources for you. Many of you have always asked, how are you producing this show? What apps are you using? What programs are you using? And we are at a place where this podcast is a 5-star rated podcast on Apple. And a lot of the tools that we are using, we've begun partnering with these companies. And so we have opportunities for you to also create your own podcast or use the resources that we use to do something or share with someone that you think needs to benefit from them. So look down in the description for this video, especially if you're on YouTube. If you're on Clubhouse, we're about to give you a chance to interact directly with the chair of the Global Grammy Academy, but also an award-winning DJ producer, originally from Cameroon. And we actually met on Clubhouse the very, very first time.
Africa.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are here again on Clubhouse and YouTube. And it's Africa Day that brought us together. But I want to talk to you about your dream, Freddie, because based on the kind of things that you're doing, and you've raised millions of dollars for non-profit organizations and causes that you believe in. I want to know about your dream. You know, what are you dreaming about? Like, what is it that is the legacy that you want to leave behind when now Freddie is, is filled with gray hair, and Freddie cannot do all the traveling that you do? What would you like to see behind that would make you smile when you can't move this fast anymore?
I think what I would like to see is a generation of myself that I have impacted, and that is very extremely important for me to impact young people. I'm always on a call, on a text, on responding to a message to a kid somewhere in Africa, or that things that I have something for them that I could empower or encourage them somehow, and that's that legacy. I want to be remembered that is that person that took your call, and we're able to share. One of the things that the dream that I have right now is we have a music academy in Cameroon, Lion Academy, that I am heavily invested in, and we're looking into taking that concept in different African countries where we have the kids that are very talented that do not have an opportunity for free to be able to come into this establishment, and be able to learn an instrument, be able to have the opportunities to record in with actual music engineers and music producers and great writers, and also management courses. And we've been very lucky to have like some of the best people in the industry to be involved in teaching these classes. I'll have some of my friends here who will actually call into some classes. So the concept, they have the first group of the students have their graduation event on the third. Actually, that's Friday. I think on Friday, yes. So I'm very excited. Those are the things that I want to plant as many. We want to plant as many of those around Africa and around the world. And so when we're not here tomorrow, or we cannot move anymore, we can look back at what this music has given us and how we've used it. I don't like to use the word give back always, because I learned how to speak English, like actual learning. I wasn't born to speak French, was my first language. So giving back means I took something and I'm handing it back. So I love the idea of giving and blessing people. Yes.
I love that. I love that. So, Freddie, I would love for you to take a few notes, maybe mental notes, as we hear from our brothers and sisters who are joining us for the show today. We have, quite a few brothers and sisters on YouTube and on Clubhouse. So those who are on Clubhouse are going to have a chance to speak. We'll start with our moderators. Lavender is here. Just quickly share your thoughts on the conversation with Freddie Mooks. And also your thoughts on today's proverb from the Jabo tribe in Liberia that says children are the wisdom of the nation. Just take a minute, and then Freddie, after this we are going to bring you back so that you can reflect on what everyone is saying, and also so that you can tell us how can we stay connected with you. I really want you to talk a little bit more about Friends, your latest music and visual project. I feel like you touched on it, but I really want people to really vibe with it because I watched it and I really, really love it. So Lavender, let's hear from you for a second here, and then go down the list to Steven and everybody else.
Hi, Simon. Hi, everyone. Freddie, is nice to listen to you and hear your story. I liked the last thing you said regarding giving, and that one special thing that I've learned today, and I'm continuing to listen and get more gems from you. About today's conversation, you're an inspiration to myself, and I know a lot of young people look up to you. One thing, I think I've used a lot of one thing, but something special about Freddie, or how I know Freddie is a man of his word. When he says he's doing something, he'll follow through. And I like that a lot about you, Freddie.
Thank you.
About today's proverb, children are the wisdom of the nation. The proverb speaks for itself, and there's not much I can say. And the gems, or what do Simon call them?
The three nuggets of wisdom.
Yes, the three nuggets of wisdom Simon shares when he starts the room. My favorite one was the first one, when he talked about children having so much knowledge and perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It demands us, not even requires, it demands us to pay attention. Thank you so much, Simon.
You're most welcome. Thank you, Lavender. Let's go to Stephen. Just share with us, where you're joining us from, what your thoughts are in regards to this conversation with Freddie, and what your thoughts are in regards to the proverb. Freddie, we should also talk about, Freddie is not just a man of his words, but a man of his actions. Sometimes your actions speak before your words, and you surprised us some time back in Seattle, and I want us to talk about that beautiful moment. Anyway, Steve, share with us your thoughts, where you're joining us from as well. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Simon. Hello, everyone. I'm Steven, joining from Kisumu, Kenya. And I must say that I'm very impressed and motivated with the many good things that Freddie is doing. When I hear somebody being in love with music and doing what he loves with all that passion, drives me to keep doing what I'm doing even more, because that is what I'm doing with the youths we are working with in Kisumu. On today's proverb, I would say that children are the leaders of tomorrow. And borrowing from Simon's nugget, empower children with knowledge. If we lay good foundation for our children today, and we instill the discipline that we need in them, then we wouldn't be worried of tomorrow. Besides laying and instilling good foundation in them today, we as parents and leaders, the current leaders, we are also tasked to question ourselves that what system do we want our children to inherit from us? If we hand over a rotten system to them, then they will be inheriting the system and the bad foundation that we will be uh, leading today. So if we expect good of them tomorrow, and we expect their wisdom to sail further, then that must start today. Thank you for having me, Simon.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you. Let's go on to Stella. I hope Stella's phone is going to work today. The last few times Stella's joined us, she has had challenges. So, hey, Stella, how are you? Where are you joining us from? And what are your perspectives on this conversation and the proverb?
Still
Okay,
as
I
far.
think what I said was correct. So let's go to Cabs. Let's go to Cubs. Hey, Cubs. I hope you had a nice weekend. I hope you're having your cup of coffee as usual. Share with us your thoughts in regards to this conversation with Freddie and the proverb for today. Let us know where you're joining us from too.
Sure, I'm joining from Missouri. No cup of coffee, was a bit late, so I just jumped into this conversation, but I'll get it afterwards. Thank you for the room. So for me, and I look at children as the wisdom of the nation, and I think about the continent of Africa at the moment, the average age is 19.8 years. And I remember having this discussion. This is a church in Nairobi in 2018. And we started to do some work in an informal settlement called Kawangware, and we'd go there weekly to meet the young people. And most of them, 80% of them wanted to be in sports, or wasani, or to be artists, in the music area. So when I think about, the power and capacity that people in the music industry, the ability to influence and change the younger generations, it is huge and it is untapped. And so as I think about the wisdom of the nation, being with children and young people, I think about how, we start off innocent, open, we start off actually wise. But as we begin to experience the world and find the evil of the world, people become closed, depressed, and all those other things. But you actually start off, all of us, very wise, um, and rich in kindness. Let me say that word. And then coming back, I know my mind is all over the place. I have some puppies here that I'm trying to walk away because they're a bit loud. I hope you can't hear them. So kind of coming back to just the conversation we're having here, just the power of music and the power of music to transform. So it's really fascinating listening to you, Freddie, and it's you just are so humble as you sit here and speak, and the accomplishments that you have done. It's from starting from engineering and your whole journey up to where you are right now, and this is just even scratching the surface. Is even more in the horizon. I'm just grateful to be in this room and to sit at the feet of people here and learn. Thank you so much, Simon.
Excellent. Thank you,
Thank
Cubs.
you.
I agree. Freddie is definitely humble and he loves doing great work. And, one day you will all be able to see some of his work. But before the end of the show, he will share with you his latest project so that you can actually go and watch it and support what he's doing. Let's hear from Chelsea. Chelsea, how are you? Where are you joining us from? And what are your thoughts in regards to the proverb and this wonderful conversation with Freddie Mooks?
Hello everyone. Chelsea. I'm joining from Kisumu, Kenya. Though I joined a little late, I can't really say much, but I'm glad to be here. And my thoughts on today's proverb. Personally, I love watching little children play, trying to learn something from them because little the kids, the children, they have a different perspective of the world than what we actually do. Like their mindset works differently from the rest of us, and so if you give them like a task to do, you'll find them doing it in ways you never expected it to be done. And so like we can always take like these lessons and employ them in our day-to-day lives, and I think that is really beautiful in its own kind of way. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for being here and for the incredible work that you continue doing in Kisumu. William, how are you doing? William, has been a guest on the show a few times too, and I deeply appreciate you for taking the time to join us today. Share with us your thoughts in regards to the proverb and the conversation with Freddie Mooks.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I am making this a morning routine for myself and Aida here in Jacksonville, Florida at 9 o'clock. I know it's early where you are, Simon, but we enjoy the conversation and just want to continue to support and be a part of this. The proverb "Children are the wisdom of the nation" is an interesting idea because as we know, children, as they grow and develop, they develop their ideas of their belonging in society and their contributions, and a lot of their wisdom does is influenced by their surroundings. So what they take from what people feed into them, they are going to apply in their future and in their lives. And interesting enough, one of the most influential things is music. So, kids relate just about everything that they're doing, things that they want to do with their life around music. So, gentlemen like Freddie and others, when they're creating, inspirational music and positive music, they're inspiring and influencing generations, and even generations to come. Because with the technology we have now, it can be replayed, redistributed, shared around the world. So it's vitally important that the wisdom through the music and the art is continuously shared with children, so that way they can be inspired and carry on and be a benefit to their community, to their nation, and also the continent of Africa. So this is a wonderful conversation. I'll hand the mic back.
Thank you, William. For those who haven't followed William or learned about his work, you should watch. My 2 interviews with him. He's really a trendsetter when it comes to STEAM. He's a STEAM advocate. He's an educator and someone who is really taking what this proverb is saying and actually putting it into action by taking the knowledge he has gained here in America back to the continent. Even though he has never been to the motherland, he's really inspiring. Thank you again for the work you're doing with the students in Uganda who joined us here for the show the last time I had you on. Brother Rushi, thank you for being here. It means a lot. Share with us your thoughts and perspective on the conversation and the proverb for today.
No worries. Salam. Salam. Thank you so much. This has been a very interesting and great conversation. This proverb, when I read this proverb today, I just had a conversation with a neighborhood friend literally 2 days ago. And this conversation really reminds me of the conversation I had with him. And the proverb, children are the wisdom of the nation. It made me think about him because my friend, he's a person who's been in a lot of trouble, I would say. If you look at his immediate circle of friends, he's the only person in his immediate circle of friends who did not go to jail for a long period of time, who didn't go to prison. And you know what? When he says the reason why he made different choices, or what the reason why he was a little bit wiser, the only thing he can account it to was the fact that he had a daughter that changed his lifestyle per se and made him make wiser choices. So I look at I look at this proverb from that realm of children. There's a lot of wisdom in children. They create the wisdom within us because they tend to make us look at things through another lens. So that's why I think about this proverb, and I would love to for Freddie to touch on something that me and my friend were also talking about, which is music. I think when I was listening to Freddie, he said something really interesting, how inspirational music is, how it can give so much. But also music can give a lot, but I also feel it can take away a lot. And I say that to say, especially in America, uh, with our hip hop music, hip hop has so many subgenres. We have trap music, which is something that kind of originated in the South, which is where I'm from. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. Then we have drill music, which is something in Chicago, which is such a violent form of expression, you know. And now we have American artists like Cardi B, we have Glorilla, and a lot of this music is very, very, uh, it's not very inspirational, I would say that. But one thing that changed me a lot is I used to listen to a lot of rap music, and when I first went to Nairobi, Kenya, and I was exposed to different types of music, whether it was piano or whether it was Swahili music. Like right about now, one of my favorite artists is Mbosso. That's what I listen to every day. Even though I don't know what he's saying, it's just I can feel the music. And I want to ask Freddie to answer that question. Is when he's working with some of these artists whose music is maybe not as inspirational, how does he, how does that make him feel? How does he get through that? Or does he ever have a different type of emotion when he's working on artists and he may not agree with the message of the music? But I thank you for the time, Simon, and I will stop there. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Brother Rushi. Freddie, I'll remind you of this question. I think it's a great question. Let's go
Yeah.
through Brother Arth and Kesiwa and Jay, and then you'll have the opportunity to respond to that and also just reflect on some of the things that have been shared here by our brothers and sisters. Brother Arth, how are you? Where are you joining us from today? And what are your thoughts in regards to the proverb and the conversation with Freddie Mooks?
Peace and love, family. It's Brother Earth coming from the North Carolina territory. Greetings to the whole village, Simon. And I kind of missed some of the conversation, but I still got to give much respect and honors to Freddie for all the philanthropic work he's doing to and fro. You know, that's much respect for that. And as far as the proverb, I agree a lot what the family said about uh, children are the wisdom of the nation. And, the other week with one of the Proverbs, like I said, it reminded me of the song with Whitney Houston talking about the children are our future, teach them well and let them lead the way. For so long, well, a big part of my childhood, I was taught that children are to be seen and not heard. And understanding that um, the children are the future leaders of tomorrow, and if they're not given a fair opportunity to partake, give their input, it could cause them not to really care about things. And when you don't care or take your eyes off the prize, of course, the nation is bound to be doomed. But it's so important that we understand that keeping the children engaged, teaching and putting the right things in them, and they'll be the future for fruition of what the nation is to be. And I park my plane right there. Peace and love, family. It's Brother Earth.
Thank you, Brother Arth. I deeply appreciate you. Let's go to Kesiwa and then finally Jay. Kesiwa, how are you? Where are you joining us from? And what are your own perspectives on today's conversation and proverb?
Absolutely. I'm doing good, Simon. Hello, Mr. Freddie. Hello, everybody in the house. Um, I decided to create a new profile only because I just like the idea of starting fresh with this app, you know. And not to mention, I got tired of all the Satoshi crypto, blah blah. It was just too much, you know. So I think I'm learning from the wisdom of kids. When they fall, they pick themselves back up and just carry on. So I really appreciate you having your guests because I know all the clips that I've seen of Madaraka Festival, it's almost like it's this energy, it's this experience, and just to know that children on the continent are blessed to be working with someone like Freddie, and to learn at his just tutelage, everything. I just think it's so wonderful, and it's just a reminder of this proverb that kids are flexible, kids are sponges, like they're the ones that can sit long hours with, let's say, grandparents or great grandparents, and they learn so many things that maybe grandparents and great grandparents wouldn't be able to tell the adults in the family. So in that way I see how this children of the wisdom of the nation really rings true. And this is what comes to mind as we speak. This case when I'm speaking from California. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kesiwa. Let's jump straight to Jay. And I have a quick announcement after Jay that I want to make. Jay, share with us your thoughts, your perspectives on the proverb and the conversation with Freddie, and also where you're joining us from. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Simon, to everyone in the room today. I'm coming from Seattle, and I'm going to talk very, very quickly because I know time is of the essence. I'm one of four Black women talking, and we actually have different events that we put on in a perspective and the wisdom of four African American women that are seasoned and that have experience, that are talking about situations and circumstances using common everyday language. One of the things that came to mind about children is that they are so pure and innocent, sweet, loving, caring, giving. They don't care about who you are, what you look like, what your economic status is, what neighborhood you live in. They just want to play with another child. And that changes because of the world. The biases, the prejudice, the corruption in the world will corrupt their hearts and corrupt their minds and thinking and behavior. And so the wisdom of children, unless you become as a child, you will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. The wisdom of children is you can go back to being kind and caring and giving and selfless. Their wisdom is what we often lose as we become adults and we're impacted by our environment. This is Jay, and I'm finished speaking. Thank you so much. Oh, I was going to say this real quick. So, in the congregation where I attend, we now have our children going into the homes of our seniors and sitting at the seat of our seniors, and those seniors breaking out their photo albums and learning about their lives. Thank you so much. Be well, everyone.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. It reminds me of growing up in Kenya, where when I was growing up, we didn't have TV. And so what you gave guests was the album, the family album. And then children would be asked to actually walk the guests through the pictures in the album. And what you're doing, Jay, is just so fantastic. Now, just quickly before Freddie Mooks comes in to reflect on everything that you all said, I just wanted to share that Lavender actually got a scholarship into a beautiful leadership program that she'll be attending for the next 8 weeks. And I just wanted to let you all know that you can send us some encouraging messages and congratulations directly in her DM. But also, I want to give you, maybe I'll give one or two people after Freddie speaks. Oh, Freddie, what can I do? Should I just give 3 people a moment? Because Lavender has been very incredible in helping this podcast grow, helping One Vibe evolve, helping Madaraka Festival thrive. So I want to give people space to actually lift her up as she's going on this journey today. She's literally living for 8 weeks. And she's going to be living with other members of a cohort on Woodby Island here in Washington State. And I just feel that it's really a beautiful and well-deserved opportunity. So, Freddie, you take it away.
I want to say first of all, congratulations, Lavender. I had a chance to work and be around Lavender during Madaraka for hours, and I used to ask her like 3 times, "Do you ever go to sleep?" And so when good things are coming for her, it makes me happy. So congratulations, Lavender, and we'll look forward to the amazing results on the 9th week when you get back. Maybe this time you get some sleep. you will not have to work too much, but I'm truly very proud of everything that uh, you have helped build through Madaraka and with Simon, and seeing you going even further makes me really happy. Congratulations.
I think, Freddie, you covered it all. So now just reflect on, first of all, answer Brother Rushi's question in regards to how you move artists from, I think, from the dark to the light.
Yeah, being a musician myself, when I say musician, in the sense that I do play instruments, I read music and write, it's very difficult sometimes when you listen to you listen to some music and try to connect with. I was able to appease myself by saying that people write um from what they hear. Nobody writes for their demographic. You don't go in the studio before knowing what demographic is gonna love your music. If they do that, then I don't think it's inspirational. Yes, there's a lot of music that's not inspirational. Um, I've been able to grow to that place where I have the choice to to choose who I want to work with or who I don't, based on messaging, based on sound and those things. But I think art generally it's a form of freedom, and I look at musicians and I look at myself and others as painters, and I think we should not restrict ourselves from painting on different canvases and also using different color paints. Sometimes, unfortunately, the the colors the colors don't match the mood, or the colors don't match the environment, and I take it very very seriously when I put something on a recording. We're having the conversation with Fatima Altieri, that I write and produce a lot of stuff with her, and I said to Fatima that I think I'll have um with with of course joking, and I said I'll have a longer relationship with you than anybody else in your family. She said, how? I said, we have music on recording that's gonna be longer than even when we are gone. As much as we can inspire, we should try to do that. But it's art. Everything that we're doing here right now, and every good thing that we do, is completely wrong to somebody somewhere in the world. When I hear music that I like drill music and trap music, from UK drill, from like 10 years before drill music even came to Chicago and New York drill and all that stuff. The music of the streets, I was not able to relate at all. Yeah, I mean, with a lot of songs from certain genres, I could not wrap my head around heavy metal, why somebody would make a song that is screaming, until I had to study the music and actually produce a heavy metal song. And so I look at music as art, and some people just paint with some colors that we don't like. Some people paint with some colors that we admire. That will get closer and like, oh no, this is just this is not music. This is just really bright colors. Yeah, yeah. So I think that's my answer. It's always gonna be here. We can't stop the minds of the people. There will always people who write crazy things, and people will make fun music that we like. And no matter how open you are, you will still run into music that you find strange, or you don't like. So I just I encourage my brother to just step back and say, okay, this person speaks different than I do, and I will choose to listen or not to listen. And if it's possible, we encourage other people to understand the message that art is fiction in most cases, but when it's spoken too long, if you listen to it too long, it will actually influence you, and you might end up trying the things that you hear in songs. And not a lot of people try stunts that they see in movies. You don't see anybody just running into traffic and trying to do a backflip on a car. So don't try the things that you hear in in certain songs. If you
It's
find
9
something
o'clock.
that's positive and inspirational,
Yeah.
yes, you should.
Beautiful, beautiful. In closing, I want you to just make sure you let us know where we can watch and listen to your latest project, and also how we can stay connected with you.
The most recent project I have was a song "Friends" that just came out on Friday. Then you just Google Freddie Mux, as it's spelled. Freddie spelled 1D, and last name Muks. I have my brother Miku, a Grammy-nominated singer and amazing writer himself from the Nigerian American, and my friend and my sister Victoria Kimani from Kenya on that song. It's a song about friends. When we're writing, Victoria recorded the first verse, and it was talking about fake friends, and we wanted the second verse to tell the story of how all the different kinds of friends that we have that went from just friends to good friends to best friends become your bad friend. Then, but right now you're a fake friend. But the good news is we're still friends. So it's a fun song, and you could just Google my name or Victoria or Miku, and you'll find it on YouTube and everywhere. I am on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Um, DJ Freddie Mux or Freddie Mux.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I will be posting, a snippet of today's conversation, and in the post we will be adding a link to that video so that you can also enjoy it. So, if you don't follow me on Instagram, my handle is at Okelo Javan, and that's my handle across all social media platforms. So we will be sharing this project later on today. One thing that I'm doing that is happening at the end of February 24th, is called Kijiji Night. This is one of the events I have produced the longest, not longer than Madaraka Festival, but I love Kijiji Night because, first of all, Kijiji is a Swahili word that means village, and I have produced Kijiji Night for 5 years at Seattle Art Museum. We've hosted some of the most incredible artists for Kijiji Night, particularly from Samini, who is from Ghana, to Jemere Morgan, who is from Jamaica. And we've held panel discussions during Kijiji Night. And this year particularly, we are going to show 2 documentaries that I was involved with producing, and we are going to have a very diverse panel discussion. And we'll have Ghanaian food provided by Chop Chop, West African cuisine here in the Pacific Northwest. So get ready and join us at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute, which is also another historic venue here in Seattle, and you don't want to miss that. Now, my brother Freddie, I hope we can do this again, because I feel that we just scratched the surface in regards to, the impact that you're having in the world, as a leader, and also as an artist. So I just hope that whenever your schedule allows, use I'll let you know, but I want you to come back to the show whenever it's possible. But to our friends who are joining us on Clubhouse, thank you again so much. Without your support, this show cannot happen. And also to everyone on YouTube who tuned in, I see you all. I want you to remember to give this video a thumbs up and leave us with your comment. Let us know what you think about this conversation today with Freddie. This marks the end of our time together today. I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Freddie, did I ask you all the questions for now, or do you have any comment to wrap up the show completely?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me on, first of all, and I am very proud of the work that you're doing in this space of keeping the African conversation alive and keeping the culture through poetry and waking me up at 6 o'clock in the morning to be on it.
Yeah, man. It's funny you say that. Naomi Achu, when I was, with her in Seattle, she was calling me the African chief, And it's because of these proverbs, for some reason, across the diaspora, people are beginning to really have a deep appreciation for these proverbs. And sometimes, I remove myself from them, from being the person behind it, and I just want to enjoy them, because I started this because I love proverbs and I love the value of these proverbs to our culture. So for someone like you to take the time and to support it, it just means a lot. So thank you.
No.
Okay, thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you, Freddie, and take care of yourselves. Peace and love. See you tomorrow.
God bless you.
Blessings.
African father in America. To Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.